G'day and welcome to this week's video. My name is Ashley Rowan and I'm a financial advisor with Consortium Private Wealth. In today's video, we're going to be looking at 8 tips to save money on your bills. Now, it is not necessary to make significant changes in your spending habits to achieve your financial goals. Now, sometimes it's simply understanding where you spend your money or finding better deals on your current expenses to save money that makes the biggest difference. So part 1 of the 8 tips I've got, number 1 being track your expenses. So keep an eye out where your outgoings are. Have a look over the course of a few months or up to 1 year to get an overall picture on an annual basis where the majority of your funds are going out, and sort of review those costs to see if some savings can be made or if you're overdoing things in certain sectors. So that could be you may be dining out a little bit too much or enjoying yourself and spending too much money on entertainment. So set yourself up a bit of an Excel sheet, perhaps may work, list all your outgoings, and from there just try and work out what you can cut back on. Tip number 2, give yourself a budget and automate your bills. Now, a budgeting rule of thumb is the 50-30-20 rule that states 50% of your after-tax income can go towards basic living, 30% on sundry expenses, and 20% on savings. So use that as a bit of a guide to try and structure your forward budget and try and stick to those metrics. You may need to make a few tweaks and changes here or there, but if you can follow those sort of those guidelines, you'll have enough money at the end of the day going into a side account which will be put aside for out-of-pocket expenses or one-off costs or covering Christmas or whatever it may be. So that may be a great way to get cash flow positive. Another example of automating your bills could be setting up automatic direct debits out of your account and breaking your bills down into weekly bite-sized pieces rather than receiving a rates notice on a quarterly basis and having to come up with hundreds if not thousands of dollars. So you should have the ability to break it down, work out what it costs on a weekly basis and set up that direct debit to occur. Smaller bite-sized amounts is a lot more manageable and can be it's a valuable strategy for a lot of people. Tip number 3, shop around for insurances. Now, a lot of insurance companies will not pay benefits if you stay a loyal and regular customer. They will get you in on a great deal and then they will just start increasing their prices unproportionately, and you won't be given any favours by being a loyal and long-term customer. So when the home contents car insurance comes through, if you've got life insurance or income protection or any of those sort of policies, I would suggest every few years requote, see if there's a better deal out there, and don't be afraid to make the change. Even if you do requote and you find that there's a cheaper alternative, contact your current insurer and see if they can price match or do better. Tip number 4, pay your bills annually where you can rather than monthly. There are discounts on some services or some policies where if you pay a one-off annual amount, you'll get the overall policy at a cheaper rate. Now that may be helping these companies out in terms of lowering their administration costs to service payments on a monthly basis, for example. So if you've got the funds to do so, if you come into funds at any time of year, such as getting your tax return proceeds back and that, then you go and pay your home and contents insurance shortly thereafter. See if you can do it on an annual basis, and there could be some savings that could be had. Now, tip number 5, controlled use of buy now, pay later schemes or credit cards. Now, particularly with the younger generation where they tend to want to live in the now and not go without, the use of buy now, pay later schemes is absolutely skyrocketing, and credit cards on top of that have been around for a lot of years now. Now, if you're not careful with debt and sort of short-term debt, you can get in a lot of trouble through late payment fees, and definitely outstanding amounts have high interest rates, so that your actual repayments are very high. So actually question yourself on your purchases you're going to make in the short term, and step back and think about it. Is it necessary? Is it valuable? Is it going to benefit me for the longer term? So question what you're spending your money on and using buy now, pay later and credit cards to accomplish that. I'm not saying that credit cards are the worst thing in the world. It's helping you generating a credit score in the background, but as long as you respect the terms of the repayments and as long as you're living within your means, then that should be fine. Tip number 6, check for extra benefits on your current services. So for example, some insurance policies that you may have might have extra benefits. And this could be your car insurance may have a roadside assistance, whereas your home and contents insurance may have a side travel insurance benefit. So instead of going out and buying extra cover that you may not necessarily need, just try and understand the policies that you've got in force now, just to determine if there's any extras that you otherwise would have paid separately. You'll find this information usually in product disclosure statements located on the company's websites. Tip number 7, refinancing. So if you've got a mortgage at the moment, don't just settle in like with utilities, like with a lot of insurance policies. The banks will be comfortable knowing that you're a committed long-term client. They perhaps won't do you many favours along the journey as well. So give your banks a call, ask for a better deal. It may take 20 minutes of being on hold, but at the end of the day, it may save you many thousands of dollars along the journey. If your bank's not willing to come to the party, definitely have a yarn with a mortgage broker or jump online to see if there's better rates and better deals out there. The actual process of refinancing isn't too difficult today, and there's definitely some professionals out there who can help you get the job done. Now, the last tip I've got is check for your recurring expenses. So everybody I know has got a Netflix subscription, but it's not just Netflix these days. There's Stan, there's Disney, there's Paramount Plus, there's KO, there's this, that, and everything. So a lot of the time you're paying for subscriptions that you're not actually utilising, and this could add up to be a couple of hundred, if not thousands of dollars each and every year. So reviewing what subscriptions you've got, retaining the ones that are vital, considered vital or necessary, that you make the most out of, is completely fine, but trim the ones that you're not using. Or you can consider going from one streaming service for a while, then going to another, back to that one, or vice versa, whatever it may be. So keep reviewing your recurring costs. Those are a few tips to get on top of your bills. Hopefully they were helpful. If you need cash flow budgeting advice, definitely go seek the help of a professional. Your accountant or your financial advisor is well geared in respect to helping out with these issues. So yeah, I hope the information was valuable, and thanks for watching.